Hello, Karma Tubers, and welcome back to Let's Play Ace, Ankylo, Phoenix Wright, Vaughn Edition, something like that. Anyway, in the last time we got electrocuted by Von Karma, who's most certainly a bad guy at this point. On the last episode, yeah, you would expect in the police office's records room there'd probably be a camera or something. So there should be like camera evidence of the lead prosecutor attacking two lawyers. He should be arrested and thrown in jail immediately, actually. But you know, there's only cameras when it's convenient for the bad guys on this movie, on this video game. All right, let's settle this. Oh. Hey Maya, looks like you're alive. Oh. I'm not sure that's how it works with stun guns, actually. Yeah, Edgeworth always has that face. Ah, he's got his little finger wag he learned from Karma. Electric back pat. Maybe you should go outside and discharge. I'm really not sure that's how stun guns work, but sure. Woo yeah! I think Gumshoe enjoys it. Well, she got electrocuted by your lead prosecutor. I'd like to file charges, actually. I probably have a couple electrode burns from where he stabbed me with his stun gun. If you are to search his residence and vehicles, perhaps you could find the weapon that he used to attack me. Oh no, just how's it going, by the way? We could literally charge him with assault and robbery, assault and battery. I don't know, something. Just something. Yeah, you must be tired. That's a good point. If he wants revenge, he must remember more than 3 years. So we gotta prove that Yogi remembers what happened. That's our goal for this first section. Keep that in mind, probably. 10 a.m. Court 3. Alright. Defense is always ready. You don't sound very ready. Thanks to Gumshoe's efforts, the Bolt rental shop caretaker has been arrested. In yesterday's trial, the defense asserted that the caretaker was the murderer. However, the caretaker has yet to confirm this. What? He hasn't... So, the guy, we are saying... We use some evidence to mostly show that he was the murderer. But because he hasn't confessed, we don't know for sure. Cross-examine him. Yeah, Just because he hasn't confessed doesn't mean he's not the murderer. Like, you don't need the double negative there. He also fled the courtroom at the end of last session. 2 sessions. In addition, he has currently lost memory of his name and identity. The witness was not running away, as he will testify. I don't believe it! The perpetually stoned guy. Yeah, pretty much. Alright, Yogi Bear. Let's see how you talk your way out of this one. I'm real sorry about just leaving yesterday like I did. But I wasn't running away or nothing. I went to buy some food for Polly, see? I figured I got nothing to do with this incident anyhow. I mean, I'd need one of those motive things, right? And I don't got one. So, my testimony yesterday stands as is. Motive, he says. Now to prove it. Alright. Real sorry about leaving. Wasn't running away. Anytime they start uhing and seeing and dot-dot-dawing, probably a good time to press. Polly is a bit of a gourmand. High quality bird pellets from France. Uh-huh. Why didn't you go back if you went to buy food for your bird? Uh-huh. The witness does have trouble remembering things. Therefore, you can't trust his testimony that the fact that he's using this argument to object to my question also proves, or discredits maybe is the word, his own witness's testimony about my defendant. So dumb, so dumb. Well, the judge believes him. Because the judge is also old and lost all the time. That shouldn't count either. I figured I got nothing to do. Yeah. Alright, the motive thing and the dot-dot-dots and the ers. I say you do have motive. You had a grudge against Edgeworth and the victim. That's why you took revenge on them, right? So, we need to prove that he has memory. How do we do that? Well, I'm not sure what we're doing first, so we're just going to have to press some more. They both seem relaxed. It is very hard to quietly listen for Phoenix. I am the Blue Badger, after all. Use a Master Seal. Oh, I already did this one. How would you know you didn't have anything to do with the incident if you don't have your memory? So far, we're just pressing randomly. Okay, Judge. Your Honor. The witness has said he has nothing to do with this case and no motive. Both of these statements are lies. Of course, Your Honor. Well, We know he's Yanni Yogi. I know he's Yogi Bear. I'm not sure how I'm going to prove it yet. His name is Yanni Yogi, former court bailiff. Should be able to take his fingerprints or something. The DL6 incident. Everybody knows about it. But what does this mean? If this man is Mr. Hyoki, then he has a clear motive. How do you propose to prove this? You need proof. Sometimes you need proof. I'm not sure, Nibmaya. I don't know. Your Honor. Please take this man's fingerprints. Yeah, I said fingerprints before. Then we'll compare them to the fingerprints on file for Yanni Yogi. The witness has no fingerprints? What? Before I worked as a caretaker, I worked at a chemical plant. How long ago was this? Wait a second, he just... No. Think about what he just said, Phoenix. There is another way. Think! Use that spiky head. I didn't even consider that he might have erased his fingerprints. Well, I didn't think of it either, but... as Chad is suggesting, he seemed to remember that quite well. Perhaps you'd like to cross-examine the parrot for a little comic relief. That'd be fun too, actually. Cross-examine the parrot. Your Honor, the defense would like to take Mr. Von Karma up on his proposal. Exactly, Your Honor. I would like to cross-examine the witness's pet parrot. Put the bird on trial. We know it. He did it. Polly wants a murder. Need you even ask? This is a farce. I object. Wait a second. You were the one who suggested I cross-examine the parrot. I have a right to do as you suggested. Fine. I hope you're ready for the consequences. This is crazy. There's no turning back. Let the parrot take the stand. I will cross-examine her, Your Honor. This is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. Von Karma's rigged every person's testimony, every piece of evidence, except the parrot. She's my last chance. Ah, bring in the parrot. It's great. Aha! Hello, bird. What mighty fine plumage you have. Name. The witness is ignoring me. Who is your owner? Hello, hello. Squawk. Hello. Real good start. The most concise testimony we've had so far. Well, we called a bird. What'd you expect? Hello, hello, Squawk. Witness! You can't just say hello. Bird! What do I say? What's the safe number? Have we forgotten something? Well, that we know that does the DL6 incident. Try that one. That sounds good, right? Polly, have we forgotten something? Uh-oh. He couldn't have retrained it, could he? Frankly, I can't believe you're speaking to the parrot. I mean, I could try... I never actually looked at this, the DL6 bullet. Well, it's got to be a pressing. It's not going to be a showing it anything, I don't think. Alright, so last time we tried the forgetting part. Let's try the name thing. Does this have anything to do with her owner's identity? Well, in fact, it might. No, Maya. You see, this is a link that I've established in the past. Polly to Yogi, Your Honor. The proof that the parrot's name reveals the caretaker's identity is, in fact, the DL6 case file talking about Polly Jenkins. Which page is the proof on? Where in the file? Okay. I gotcha. It's in suspect data. Right after he was arrested, his fiancée committed suicide. What was his fiancée's name? Polly. He remembered the name of his fiancée who committed the suicide. That's why he named his parrot after her. That is possible. My granddaughter has a dog she calls Phoenix. Well, Mr. Phoenix, does this make you my granddaughter's fiancé? We would need some other corroborating evidence. You may continue. Pressing at the ... seems to do nothing. We need to show the judge that her owner is Mr. Yogi. So, is it more presenting here or more pressing? I guess we'll try pressing again. Well, the safe number gets the... Try this again. Maybe this will work now. Have we forgotten something? What am I missing? So we just keep getting the same thing. I guess I'll try the other one because it seems to be the only options we've got right now. The safe did have evidence, but he stole it from us. You aren't claiming that this number has something to do with the caretaker. Well, it does. That was the code for his safe. You're really stretching it. Okay, 1228. 1228! Bam. I'm not good at picking those numbers up usually, but there you go. Case summary. Specifically the date on which the DL6... I almost missed that one. That's a tough one to catch. It's today's date, 15 years ago. And the number on the safe is 1228. He used the date of the DL6 incident as the number for the safe, Your Honor. That's how important the date was to him. An interesting coincidence, indeed. Two interesting coincidences. I set my ATM's card to 001 because I'm number 1. This has nothing to do with the date. Nothing. It has everything to do with the date. Two coincidences at the same time seems like a pattern to me. Summon the caretaker. Immediately. Hope you guys didn't let him escape again. Witness. Tell us your name. He looks totally different. The real Yogi Bear. Finally. Acting for 15 years. What a jerk. Yanni Yogi. So was it you who killed Robert Hammond? And tried to frame Miles Edgeworth? Yes, it was me. I did it. Case closed. We're done. Oh. His lawyer got him off on sort of an insanity plea. Uh-huh. So that covers the trial. Edgeworth is now innocent of the murder of Robert Hammond. Very well. So I think this is a little bit sketchy, but they're gonna try to tack on the case from 15 years ago onto this one. Okay, not guilty for killing Robert Hammond. Party! For now. Uh-oh. Uh-oh! Yeah, the bird got off the hook again. Edgeworth objected to his own innocence. Why would you do that? As we have heard, Yanni Yogi killed Robert Hammond in revenge. But revenge for what? We shall object. He is my... he is my client. I have to object to try to protect him. You're gonna say that this is precedent, that you can now object and confess after judgment has been reached? Fine. We don't even have a choice. For 15 years, I've had a recurring dream. A nightmare. That's what he's told himself. But now I know it wasn't a dream. Yanni Yogi wasn't the killer. From the distance of the shot, it wasn't suicide either. Everything was as clear as day. The murderer, the criminal in the DL6 incident, it was me. Your Honor, I confess my guilt. I am guilty for DL6, the statute of limitations of which ends today. The culprit is me. As he points at, like, Phoenix, but he is, you know, incriminating himself. I'm not really sure how protocol dictates. Hold a trial right here, right now. Karma, I'm pretty sure that's not how it's supposed to work, to be honest. There's paperwork to be filed, evidence to be collected, you know the drill. Well, we're not off the grinder just yet. Well, Edgeworth, hey, I proved you innocent of the last one. I got a win for that. I don't think you can trust his 9-year-old boy brain to remember this sort of thing. And you need proof, you need evidence, not just a 9-year... See, I don't think you can take a 15-year later confession from someone who is oxygen deprived and 9 as enough proof or evidence to lock him up for. Getting my case ready. I'm going to prove that Miles Edgeworth is innocent. Double the innocence. Press for underage, and at the very worst, it would be sort of manslaughter. Like, it was totally an accident or something. Like, you know, he's not gonna get the death penalty for it. I'm sorry, I'm going to be claiming that you were just a boy and you're unable to recall such things correctly. You just have survivor's guilt or something? As the only survivor of the 3 people in that room, you feel guilty and you feel like you must be punished for it yourself. Something like that. We'll bring in some psychologists, some child psychologists, somebody who examined you after the event, and then we'll have you off in no time. Oh, wait, you mean I have to do it all on my own? Of course. With less logic than that. Ha. You'd like to run this one by the book? Not yet. Not yet. To be honest, of the 2 charges, this one should be much, much weaker. Just by default, because it was 15 years ago. And there was no photographs or... There's much less evidence of the crime, like fingerprints and stuff. At least for the boat crime, we had the fingerprints on the gun. They're not even going to have that this time. One detail didn't quite fit. He did say he didn't remember, or he passed out, or something like that. That day, I had gone to the courtroom to observe one of my father's trials. As we went to leave, an earthquake struck, trapping us in the elevator. It might be the same gun. That'd be funny. My father and Mr. Yogi lost their composure and began to argue. Just then, something heavy fell at my feet. I picked it up and threw it at Mr. Yogi. I wanted them to stop fighting. A moment later, there was a single gunshot, then a scream. The bird dropped the gun. It was a terrible scream. I remember it to this day. Ah, I know where they're going with this. At least I'm pretty sure. 2 shots again, remember? We were stuck in that elevator for 5 hours. The oxygen in the elevator ran out and I lost memory of the events. Same claim Mr. Yogi made. Successfully, I'll remind you. But, yeah, before we start presenting and pressing and all that, let's just have a look so we can refresh ourselves with the old case. Because it gets complicated with 2 cases like this. So, DL6 incident, dead dad incident, bullet in the elevator glass incident. We also have a bullet with clear ballistic markings from Gregory's heart. We also have the case file. Air in the elevator was oxygen, depleted at time of incident, no clues on the scene. Air in elevator was oxygen depleted, sorry, reading comprehension, right? Trapped in elevator, returning from blah blah blah, 1 bullet in his heart. The murder weapon was fired twice. Blah blah blah, already dealt with that. So, second page we're going to need to use a couple times, I bet you. Parrot doesn't matter, that doesn't matter. Probably won't matter. Maybe. Unless we can tie both guns to the same person. Both bullets to the same gun. Alright. So let's see. What are we going to press them on? That's fine. Earthquake struck, trapping us in the elevator. Let's start pressing on that. Well, Shinga, he did admit that he picked up the gun in the boat. So, his fingerprints could have arrived from there just fine. Father and Yogi lost their composure. 9-year-old boy, what could I do? I was scared, trembling in the corner. But then... just then, something heavy fell at my feet. Most certainly the bird dropped it. A pistol. I assume it was the bailiff, Yanni Yogi's. The safety must have come off when it fell from his holster. Still sketchy. And you picked it up. What happened next? Threw it at Mr. Yogi. He threw the gun at Mr. Yogi. It could be the same gun, but we haven't seen any evidence of that yet, basically. Did you know it was a pistol when you threw it? I think I knew. I think I knew it was dangerous. But see, again, if he threw the gun that then killed his father, let's say it fired after he threw it, is that intent to kill? Throwing a gun at someone? I don't think that's intent to kill. I'm pretty sure that's like intent to throw an object at. Maybe at worst he meant to hurt him. So it would be completely an accident if he died. He threw the pistol at Yogi. He didn't even throw it at his dad. He was in a daze. This would never hold up in real court. A moment later, there was a single gunshot, then a scream. One thing I want to check quickly. I don't think I actually have an autopsy from his dad. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't actually have an autopsy here. Trapped in an elevator returning from lost trial. 1 bullet found in heart. I suppose you could try to argue whether or not he had time to scream if he was shot in the heart. I'm not 100% sure how that would work out, but definitely the firing twice bit. We'll just press for now, but... I think, after I threw it, I lost consciousness. That horrible scream. To this day, can practically hear it now. I doubt I will ever forget that scream as long as I live. I suppose firing a gun in an elevator would probably blow out some eardrums pretty easily. Like, it's pretty darn loud, isn't it? Even a small caliber weapon. One part of that... Okay, so... I think... Well, I've got 2 ideas. It's either... Well, the single gunshot or the scream. We've got 2 things we could point at. You could say he shouldn't have had a terrible scream if he was shot in the heart and died. And you could probably say single gunshot, but 2 were fired. But Phoenix keeps talking about this scream as if that's the important part. So I'm going to assume that it's very obvious that his father was killed in the heart. I don't know. Because we have 2 bullets. 1 hit the glass, 1 hit his father. So I think we're going to try to argue that the bullet that fired before he went unconscious hit the glass and couldn't have made, like, he couldn't have heard a human scream. Well, the death scream. I'm gonna try. Did I click the wrong evidence? Okay, well, we'll go back and we'll try it here. Either I clicked the wrong one somehow. You know, I probably had the picture selected, didn't I? Oh, this is what I was supposed to do anyway. Whatever. The 1 versus 2 gunshot. Okay, apparently that was right. But that doesn't make sense. Look at this file one more time. Plainly contradicts the witness's testimony. I enjoy this file a lot, Karma. Victim data. The murder weapon was fired twice. Bam. Bazinga, even. The first shot was the accidental firing when the pistol was thrown. So, who fired the remaining shot? Was there perhaps another shooter who fired the second shot? The pistol did fire twice. We do not know when the second shot was fired. Nah. We got you, Karma. Nice try. There is so. Hold on. Object! Objection, I say! One of those shots was fired by the defendant, a boy at the time. Do you have any proof that the other shot was fired has something to do with the case? Yes, I do. Your Honor, I think I'll be able to show you proof. Photographic proof. This is what you get for investigating the evidence thoroughly ahead of time. So the photo. Look at this photograph. This is the photograph of the scene of the crime 15 years ago. I can see the victim lying there is Gregory Edgeworth. This proves the murder weapon was fired twice at the time of the incident. This photo proves it. Where? You're gonna make me point it out? Please get a clue. Show the judge the contradiction. Show me where the bullet enters. As should be obvious, the contradiction is here. A bullet hole in the door. Your Honor! Gregory Edgeworth was killed by a shot from the pistol. Yet there is also a bullet hole in the elevator door. We also know that the murder weapon was fired twice. This is very simple. Someone other than Edgeworth fired the second shot. Because he fell unconscious. Order in the court. It's simple, Your Honor. At the time of the incident, 2 shots were fired. One went into Gregory Edgeworth's heart. The other hit the elevator door. Remember that the defendant lost consciousness after the shot he fired rang out. In conclusion, we must agree that the second shot was fired by someone else. But who could that someone else be? The murderer, of course! Not a single clue was found on the scene. If the pistol had indeed been fired 2 times, the other bullet would have been discovered on the scene. The second bullet has never been found. Uh-oh. Why? Because the second bullet does not exist. The bullet that claimed Gregory Edgeworth's life was the one fired by his own son. That is the truth of the matter. So he's saying that the photographic picture of the shot door is not good enough. We found a bullet in the guy's heart. It could not have traveled through his heart and through the doorway. You can't shoot someone in the heart, have it break the glass behind them, and still pick the bullet out of their heart. Which I'm almost positive. Right? That was the idea, right? One bullet found in heart. It could not have... It was undoubtedly something else, is what he's trying to say. So what is it then? If I give you a reasonable suspicion that the bullet went through the glass and was lost, shot up into the roof or something, and you just say something else did it. What do you think that something else could possibly be? Yeah. Where did the other bullet go? Just because you don't know where the second bullet is doesn't mean anything. Highly unlikely that they merely overlooked it. It could have just shot into the roof and traveled into some insulation and you just never found it. You have to discount my claim because he says they didn't find the bullet 15 years ago. You're full of crap. No, you were not wrong, Phoenix. Yeah, do some objecting. We've given in. Well, there was 2 shots fired. I guess I just give up. Sorry, everybody, I tried. Only 1 bullet was found, and they just blame it on Miles. Even though there was evidence of other damage to the room caused by bullets. Have you been paying attention? So you killed your father, though that was not your intention. Very well. Statute of limitations runs out today. Therefore, I must pronounce a verdict on the defendant today, right here. Right now. I've been here before. It's just like my first day in court. There's so many things we should be saying that I'm not saying. I always have an objection. I don't even know what it is. Just object. I just object on principle. On what grounds? Well, all of them. It must exist. Uh-oh. Come on, Ghost Boss, help me out. The second bullet must exist. But where would it be? Someone took it. Wait, Your Honor. The second bullet, it exists. There was not proof that it doesn't exist. That was just proof that nobody found it. Not even close. You guys are stretching. Someone took it from the scene of the crime. That's what happened. The murderer? Tell us, just who is this murderer? I guess it's Von Karma. He did confess to a whole bunch of that to us before he electrocuted us. Don't forget that Von Karma knows all about what's going on. How would he have found it? It's not easy to find a stray bullet. Was there some pressing need for the murderer to search for that bullet? Yes, because he needed it to make it look like the people in the room did the murdering, and it wasn't the person that was not in the room doing the murdering. He had to find it. Let's just assume that the 2 people in the room have been knocked out. All 3 people are basically knocked out due to oxygen deprivation. Why would the 3rd person need... The 4th person, really, someone not in the room, they would have had to remove the bullet to remove suspicion of themselves. The murderer was cautious, but the bullet would be proof. It was a special bullet? Not sure where Phoenix is going. It's not nearly as easy to take the bullet from inside Gregory. Why would you only take 2? Because you can't pull a bullet out of someone's heart easily without getting yourself covered in blood. Simple. Don't you penalize me. That Karma's argument didn't make any sense. Why would he pick up one bullet just laying on the ground but not the one inside someone's heart? Well, I guess he didn't need it then. He's speaking very confidently. The murderer had no reason to take that bullet, Your Honor, and I speak with experience. The murderer had to take it. You're thinking too normal. Think crazy. Don't think why the bullet was taken. Think why the bullet had to be taken. Ha! I have another idea. The murderer had no intention of taking the bullet, but the murderer had to take the bullet. Well, for instance, what if it had shot through the glass and hit the murderer? Just saying, you know, for instance. If it hit you, you would have to take it with you. It's not like you could perform surgery, just like you couldn't pull it out of someone's heart. But yeah, you know. So, wait a second. What if that's what really happened? At the time of the murderer himself was shot, and he left with the second bullet still inside, leaving only one bullet at the scene of the crime. Well, that makes more sense. Because there's a hole in the glass. Someone had to put it there. The other 2 people rescued from that elevator were both unharmed. So, someone else. Yeah. Someone who wasn't knocked unconscious by oxygen deprivation. The 2 men fight inside the elevator. Trying to stop them, the boy picks up the pistol at his feet and throws it. The pistol discharges accidentally. The bullet travels through the glass and shoots the actual murderer. Maybe he wasn't going to be a murderer at that point, but he becomes the murderer soon after. The murderer opens the elevator door, sees the men inside. Bam! Kills him dead. It's definitely possible. Deny it, deny it. No one involved with the incident was wounded. No one was wounded at the time of the incident. Ah! I can think of one person who took a nice long vacation. Yeah, Maya. Remember what Grossberg said? A blow. Must have been quite a shock. He took a vacation for several months. Very unusual that he would take a vacation. Kind of puts a hole in his record in a way. He didn't take that vacation because of shock. He already said, remember, before we started the court, that he didn't even remember defense attorneys. He considers them bugs to squish. He didn't care that he lost... Well, he may have cared a very small amount that old Papa Edgeworth, you know, stood up to him in court. But what he did have to do was he had to acknowledge the fact that he was shot in the shoulder. Aha! It could only mean one thing. He was the murderer in the DL6 incident. The man who shot Gregory Edgeworth. Something wrong, Mr. Wright? Well, he did attack us and tase us. He's pretty obviously a bad guy. Should I come out and say it? Let's do it. Your Honor, there is a suspect. One lone suspect. Von Karma. Just look at his face. He is obviously evil. And he survived the bullet wound by being a vampire. Bah! You don't object? See no need. Why honor this ridiculous outburst with my objection? Because you took a vacation for several months, starting the day after the incident. Yet you pride yourself on a perfect record. Why would you take such a long vacation without any reason? So you're claiming that I took a vacation to heal my injury from the incident. Fascinating. Metal detect them. You got a point. Pull out the metal detector. That's good, actually. I would have needed surgery, no? Where did I go under the knife at, Mr. Wright? Bring the doctor that operated on me. Have him testify. So, when he says something like that, he's making sure that he would only say something if he knew he was right. There is no possible doctor. He already knows these things before he talks. He's perfect. He wouldn't leave clues. No surgery at all. So, could he pull? Is he like a super hardcore action hero that could just take some pliers and pull bullets out? That's insane! You can in TV shows. The bullet has to be somewhere. Can you produce evidence to prove that I was shot? It's not impossible. We'll just poke you in the shoulder a couple times. That'll probably do it. Actually, all you'd have to do is say, remove your shirt, you'd see the scar. But we can't tell him to take his shirt off, I guess. So, why have we been holding on to this for so long? We tried to turn it into the police a few times, but they wouldn't take it back. So then I ask, where is that bullet? I think it unlikely that Von Karma performed surgery on himself. There is the possibility that the bullet is still inside Von Karma. I mean, it depends on where it hit him, but, you know, I guess it's possible. There's a couple ways. We could use this metal detector, or we could subject him to an examination by some doctors, I expect. I'm going to run this over you and see what we find. This is not the way I would prove it. Ah! I refuse. You acknowledge the bullet is still inside you? Your Honor, the defense requests that we be allowed to use the metal detector. I still think it'd be just call a doctor, but this is an invasion of privacy. The statute of limitations runs out today. It was you who said we had to end it right here, right now. I guess that is a point. It might take too long to call a doctor. I permit the use of the metal detector. Subject him to radio waves, or however they work. Magnets, probably. Beep, beep, beep. The bullet. I think as soon as you took his the top of his shirt off, you'd be able to see the giant bullet scar wound. It would look very incriminating just by him showing off his shoulder. It was you all along. Indeed, there is a bullet in my shoulder. However, it has nothing to do with this incident. Ha! As if. I was shot in the shoulder long before DL6. I claim that the bullet in my shoulder has no relation. This is very, very suspicious, though. Prove it. Yeah, you prove it, huh? Oh, sure. Now it's innocent until proven guilty, right? Now it is. It's always guilty till proven innocent when it's my client. Probably. Let's have a look at our evidence. I got some stuff. Well, he missed one object, thanks to Maya's final sacrifice. So sorry, Mr. Wright. One day away from freedom. You see, I have proof. Who would have thought you would have dug your own grave trying to convict Edgeworth? I can link that bullet in your shoulder to the DL6 incident. And here's my final proof. Well, it almost certainly has to be the bullet that still bears clear ballistic markings from the gun that was fired twice, one removed from the heart, and one to be removed from his shoulder. Although it will probably take 24 hours for them to do the ballistics test match again, but they'll have to pull his bullet out and compare it to this one. This was taken from the heart of the victim, Mr. Gregory Edgeworth. The bullet is preserved quite nicely, with all the ballistic markings intact. You may recall the term. It came up in the trial, the first trial 2 days ago. Yep. Indeed. The bullet removed from the victim's heart, and a bullet in his shoulder. We're just going to dig that out. Let's analyze them both. If the markings matched, we would know that both bullets had been fired from the same gun. Bazinga! The murder weapon that killed Gregory Edgeworth. Although that would mean that he came to the... He may have visited, whatever, the elevator not intending murder, because he didn't bring a gun. He walked to the elevator, opened it up, got shot somewhere along the line, picked up the gun from the unconscious people, and then killed Gregory. So he may not have immediately intended murder, but he certainly ended up murdering and covering it all up. You will let us remove this bullet from your shoulder. Then we'll compare the ballistic markings to those on the bullet. And solve this case once and for all. Well, Mr. Von Karma? Uarg. He's definitely breaking down. That scream. I've heard that scream before. I mean, we didn't really argue the fact that being shot in the heart wouldn't allow a very long scream for it probably would not allow him to scream very long. Especially when they're all oxygen deprived and basically dying anyway. A crazy Uarg. The sound of a madman. He said he'd never forget that scream. It was you who screamed. Now we have a witness. Well, that's pretty bad. Oh, he's really angry now. Edgeworth! Only you would defy me. Ha! Turns around, smashes his head into the wall. Your father shamed me with a penalty on my record. And you left a scar on my shoulder that would never fade. I'll bury you. I'll bury you with my bare hands. Death, death. Well, that's it. Lock him up, boys. Lock him up. Mr. Chief Prosecutor. I'm so sorry, Von Karma. It's not like you to make this kind of error. Never would have thought that Edgeworth would be the man to catch you. This is back when he fabricated evidence. I don't even know how he was penalized. I was in the court records room. I must have wandered in there without thinking where I was going. The room was pitch black. The lights must have gone out. I went out in the hall and felt my way to the elevator. I pressed the button and nothing happened. Then there was a noise. I was in pain. A horrible burning pain in my shoulder. Just then the lights came back on. The elevator doors opened before my eyes. I saw 3 people inside, all laying unconscious from the oxygen deprivation. Much to my surprise, a pistol lay at my feet. I knew then it was destiny. In his last moments, Gregory Edgeworth was still unconscious. He died never knowing who had shot him. Later, he spoke through a medium, blaming Mr. Yogi. He was fooled. Apparently ghosts don't know how they were murdered. It was the perfect crime. Who would have thought another man would have come to open that elevator door? Judge! Arrest me. It appears that we have come to a very long way to the end of this maze. 15 years later, Mr. Miles Edgeworth, you are innocent. You are innocent. As you said, it was all a nightmare. This court finds the defendant, Mr. Miles Edgeworth, not guilty. Yay, for real party this time. I'm counting that as a double victory for my record, by the way. Court is adjourned. So now we have 5 total victories under our belt, I think. Not bad. Not bad at all. And we did it mostly without Mia's help this time. Yeah, crushed him good. It was pretty close. There you go, Edgeworth. You're free man. Cleared your conscience as well, hopefully. You could say thank you. Also, you could pay me. I would appreciate some sort of defense lawyer fee. I don't know. Whatever the standard rates are. It's a pretty high-profile trial. Oh, Gumshoe, yeah. I think after this, we'll be friends with Gumshoe for pretty much the rest of ever. From now on, Gumshoe's our buddy. He keeps getting demoted, apparently. It's like every case he's on, the prosecution deducts some pay for him. Whoop! It's alright, Edgeworth. We all feel foolish when we make that noise. "15 years. Oh, good. Lotta's around. Sure. Thanks. Thank y'all very much, he tries. Back to college. That was quick. Yesterday you said you were going to be an investigative photographer. Next day you're enrolled in courses, hey? That's fast. Oh, hey. Oh. You can guess. Fiancé. She's moving to Paris. Again, another girlfriend bites the dust for butts. Harry Butts. Still can't get the name right. So we've got a good group of friends at this point. Ah, money in it. Let's tie some loose ends up. $38. It's very specific. Exactly the amount of money that was stolen. Indeed. He took the day off, but he came to school anyway, because he's a weirdo. And just grabbed some money lying around. That's how he knew that I was innocent back in the day. Because he's the one that did it. Just like all your pals getting you in trouble like that. When something smells, it's usually the butts. We've always been a little bit dense. We haven't been very good at finding clues and picking up on sort of reading in between the lines type stuff. I became a defense attorney because of you guys messing around. Good times. Should have been a prosecutor. Well, it's never too late, old pal. It's never too late. Detective Gumshoe took us out on the town that night. We celebrated Edgeworth's newfound freedom. Although Edgeworth was still in detention. December 29th, 5 a.m., Wright & Co. party hard. Good morning, Nick. You were really impressive yesterday. Seeing you made me think about what I'm doing here. I'm a spirit medium, in training, of course. I wanted to help Mr. Edgeworth, too. I wanted to help you, but I couldn't. It was useless. So I've decided to go back to my training. I'll become a full-fledged spirit medium for starters. Couldn't say it to your face, so I left this letter. Goodbye, Nick. Goodbye? Gah! The first trains for the mountains have left already. To the station! Maya did probably drug him. She learned about the sleeping pills from that samurai episode. It all ties together. She's behind it all. Maya, what are you doing? But you did help on the last case, remember? Hold on. Hold it, indeed. I never could have saved Edgeworth without your help. On the last day of the trial, I heard her. I heard Mia's voice. It was at the very end when I thought we'd lost everything. You were the one who stopped Von Karma. I have evidence that proves you helped. Show her some evidence to cheer her up. Let's show her her disappeared mum to help her feel better. It's the parrot. No, we'll show her the bullet that we wouldn't have if not for her. Von Karma was convinced he had taken all of the evidence pertaining to DL6. But you were the one who rescued the last piece of evidence we needed. This was the bullet that put an end to Von Karma. As if you shot him yourself. The silver bullet, even? See you later, Maya. You weren't the worst sidekick I've ever had. Not my favorite. Golden bullet, well, we had to slay a vampire, Shinga. Silver bullet. And so my story ends. Time to turn a new page. And say goodbye to the novice defense attorney that I once was. Now a new story begins. With the same old crazy cast of characters. I object! Alright. I'm sure Silver would work on vampires to some degree, right? Been playing too much Witcher. Happy New Year's! Whoop! Detective Gumshoe! Got a new girlfriend. Don't know how he affords any dates with these girls working at the hot dog stand by the lake. Not sure that makes much sense. Oh, Pain, I remember him. Yeah, that Pain guy. He was a good starter prosecutor to deal with. His little whiny voice objections. I wonder where Phoenix has gone off to then. Not really all that many people involved in programming this game. Grossberg. So, as much as the game is over now, there's still definitely some loose threads that we haven't really solved from the first, well, from this game. We haven't really resolved what happened to Mia and Maya's mother, and the thing with Blue Corp. And we haven't totally resolved the thing with Grossberg either. The whole blackmail and everything with him. So there's probably some more to be resolved with all that kind of stuff on the next game, if we keep going. Of course, now we've got a team of buddies we can call to. But what is happening with Phoenix? That is the question. Where's he gone? Do the later games adhere more closely to actual law? I don't think it changes too much, fella. They add some new mechanics the way I remember it. I haven't played a whole lot of the other ones. I played like the first 2 or 3. It's generally the same overall style. They add a little bit... They add some more courtroom rules about... I think they mentioned chain of evidence and sort of presenting evidence in the trial. There's some rules around that. You can start investigating objects more closely. Like you can get a... Like if you have a coin or something, you can actually rotate it around and look at all of it to find more clues and hints. I can't remember all of this stuff, but they do add some more mechanics, like, to flush the game out a little bit better. It was Ghost Phoenix the entire game. And actually, the parrot was behind all of the murders. Every single one. The parrot got off scot-free, and everyone else has been sent to jail now. How did the gun land in Miles Edgeworth's hands in the first place? The parrot did it. Victory for all! Even Ghost Boss is there. I think the second or third game has a better end game. Uh-oh. Hold it. Rise from the ashes? It's not over yet! Alright, but it is over for today. Thanks for watching, folks. I hope you've enjoyed YouTube. I'll see you guys back next time. And for the stream, ooh, mystery cliffhanger.